Hi everyone, we hope you're well and having a lovely start to the summer. We're here today with Susan from the Hertfordshire NHS Community Trust and Lisa from our early start team to talk about all things toilet training. So if you've got any any questions at all about toilet training that you'd like us to answer, please just pop them in the chat below and we'll answer them all towards the end of the live. So over to Susan and Lisa to get started.
Thanks, Chloe. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa. I'm an early start worker, and this is my colleague.
I'm Susan Bayliss. I'm an associate public health practitioner, and I work with the Health System team in Watford.
And today we're going to talk to you about potty training, toilet training. We know it can be quite daunting when you first start, so this is where Susan's going to help, aren't you?
Yeah, hopefully give you a few tips, make it less stressful for you and your child. It's not something that we're doing every day. We don't even remember how we maybe did a job before. So it's just, if you have a good start, hopefully you'll have a good outcome.
Excellent. So Susan, what tips can you give parents who are not sure if their child's ready to toilet train?
So I think what you have to think of is, are they showing me any signs that they are ready to potty train? Can they actually sit on a potty or a toilet for more than 2 seconds without getting up and sticking on their head? First thing they do with a potty is that. So, go out and choose a potty. If you want to go straight onto the toilet, then go and choose a little toilet seat for your child to sit on. Do they go and hide if they need a poo? Are they sneaking away because they know it's coming, they want to do it privately? Do they tell you when they're doing a wee? Or as the wee's happening, do they tell you? So that's a good sign. Are they uncomfortable when their nappy's full? They don't like it anymore, they want it off.
Should you remove them from like where they're playing, maybe?
I think
to stop their play. Or
so when you're changing them, when you're thinking of leading up to potty training, always change them by the toilet. If they're over 2, always change them standing up, because that's age appropriate, and they'll be standing up to pull up their trousers or their pants or whatever. So that's a good tip. If they do a poo, they can help you flip it down the toilet out their nappy and say, bye-bye poo, poo's going home. They don't know what a poo looks like, basically. They don't know that poos need to be anywhere but in a nappy. So this is something that you're bringing into their world. So this becomes more normal to them.
Right, excellent. Thank you.
And a perfect reward for potty training is to wash your hands when you're doing the sink. So, now we've done it. Wash your hands.
Plug it in or out.
Yeah. Stand with them because they'll wash your bathrooms out. But that's what you want. Those sorts of things are a nice encouragement. So those are sort of things to look for. Are they ready? So you can have an idea.
Brilliant. So is there anything we can do to help if they're not ready?
So if they're not ready, again, the tips I've mentioned before, but let them see the bathroom doors open, people go to the toilet, talk about going to the toilet, talk about wee and poo. It's an everyday thing, everybody does it, but we don't talk about it, we're very British sometimes. So we need to say, oh, mummy's going to the toilet, oh, mummy's done a wee, or you've done a wee, your nappy's wet. So let them know these are all normal things that happen. And bring these words into their conversation. So when you say, oh, we need to go to the toilet for a wee, it's not an alien concept to them. It needs to be an everyday thing.
Excellent. And what about if you start potty training, do we then just keep going when we've made that decision? Or
I think you need to give it at least 5 to 7 days and don't have a busy week. So plan it when you're not busy. If you're about to move house, if you're about to have a baby, these are not good times. So you want to plan it when you've got, I don't know, a week's holiday. This time of year is brilliant because you can do a lot of it outside and it saves the puddles on the floor. But plan it and think, right, this is the week I start. We've been out bought potty, we've been out bought pants. I've prepped my child. They know, where the toilet is. They know about changing. All that's very normal to them. Give it 5 to 7 days. If it's complete disaster and all they do is wander around weeing, but no idea they're having a wee, no idea they've had a poo, then don't do it.
Then stop and go back to changing them in the bathroom.
Yeah, always keep that up from 2 onwards. Always do that.
Okay.
Because you don't want to lose some of the gains that you've made. Children should, even if they're wandering around your house and they're doing a poo and they're napping in front of you, but carrying on playing, and they're not aware, they're not ready. There has to be some awareness because there's a neural pathway between the bladder and the bowel, and it goes to brain. And if that trigger isn't saying, hey, you need the toilet, they don't know.
Yeah.
But have a routine. When you start, have a routine that they get up in the morning, sit on the potty of the toilet, nappy off. Then if you're not going to take them out of nappies because you're just prepping them, then they can have the nappy on until that bath time, and you take the nappy off and sit them on the toilet or the potty. But then in the day, when you started, your routine is every couple of hours, you're going to send them to the, you're going to say, oh, potty time or toilet time.
You don't want to overdo it, do you? It's
No.
a fine line. You
Yeah.
don't want to go every 10 minutes.
No.
or so.
If you are hassling them all day, do you want to read, do you want to read, do you want to read, do you want to read? They'll say no, because that's their favourite word. And actually, you're just going to get on their nerves.
Yeah.
So you just want to say, oh, let's go to, let's go wash your hands, and let's go to the toilet, wash your hands because it's snack time, or we finished snack, let's go up and wash your hands and go to the toilet.
And I suppose accidents then may happen. It's quite normal.
They will. And actually, your child in a pull-up or in a nappy doesn't know they've had an accident.
I was going to say that pull-ups, do we?
No, straight into pants. They'll have an accident, it'll run down their leg, and they'll stand there looking, thinking, oh my word, what's this? Because they don't know what it is. And you'll go, oh dear, oh, you've done a wee on the floor. Let's mop that up. So, it's something to mop it up. I would, just get a load of old, cheap tea towels or something, mop it up, walk your child to the toilet and change them there. Don't scoop them up, don't lie them on the floor there. Walk them to the toilet and then do your whole changing routine there.
Okay, brilliant. That's brilliant. And like with the pants, I suppose as well, it's about choices. You could get them to choose 2 pairs of pants, or let them choose the pants they want to buy from the supermarket, couldn't you? So that's an incentive as well.
And quite a nice reward is, first of all, you start with plain pants, and then, when you do your weaves in the toilet, you can have the pants with the character on.
That's a nice idea.
So it's the next stage up. They think, oh, that's what I'm working towards. So it's nice to have a little character dangle, because some children will be great for the first couple of weeks and then get bored of that. They don't do it anymore. So you want to have something to keep them motivated.
Definitely. So another thing I think that worries parents is, do they have to stay at home for the next however long until the child's mastered it, or are there ways to go out and about and continue as normal?
I would say for the first week, if you can, stay at home as much as possible. If you have to go out, we all run out of bread and milk, then you need to be prepared. So you go with a change of clothes. If they're in a buggy or a car seat, then you'd put a liner in. So you can either get bed liners or you can get puppy mats. So they're the same thing, but they've got a different picture on the packet.
And they're cheaper, aren't they?
Puppy mats are a lot cheaper. And you just put it in your buggy, you put it in your car seat. So if they have an accident, you just fold it up, put it in a bag, and it's like a nappy. You'll have to change them.
Yeah.
But don't put them in a nappy to go out, because then if they do have an accident or you can't find a toilet, if you say to them, oh, just wear your nappy, well, what am I doing at home? I'm not doing that. It's too confusing. You need one thing and you just need to go with that. But it'll be back to newborn when you've got a bag full of what ifs. So again, this is a great time of year because it's shorts. But washable shoes are good because gravity will take that wee into their shoes. So think, what shoes can I put them in that I can, keep clean?
Imagine sensible clothing. You don't want tight leggings or tight things as well. You want something that you get down quickly.
Yeah. So leggings. Joggers are good, but those sorts of joggy shorts are good. Little girls in dresses and pants. Yeah. Even if they are sitting in the buggy in the car seat, you can lift up the back of the dress so that only the pants get wet. So you can make it slightly less challenging for yourself. And always know where the toilet is. So if you're going to a supermarket, know where the toilet is. If you're going to a shopping centre, and go to different toilets, because some children they'll only go in their own toilet at home. You want them to get used to the toilet in Sainsbury's, Asda, Tesco's, the Harlequin. I'll put that into.
Not with that. Sorry, or something.
I don't go shopping a lot. But you just want them to know, what Granny's toilet looks like, so that toilets aren't a frightening place to go.
Right.
And you can take their potty. You can buy portable potties, and you fold them out, and it's got like a bag in it with something that absorbs the moisture. And they can sit on it, and that just folds up flat into your bag, or just take your potty and put it in a bag.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. Mine were a bit wary of the hand dryers.
Some children don't like hand dryers, and if you're everywhere has a hand dryer, and say to them, there's a big noise comes out of this, and it's going to blow you. So if you blow at them and say, can you feel the wind? Well, let's see if this magic machine works. Give them a little scenario so they can understand what hand dryer does.
Exactly, yeah.
They're called social stories. You make a story up about this hand dryer and you talk about it. You know, going to the toilet, you know, we go in here, do you remember the toilets, and they look like this. Especially children who are a little bit more anxious. It's not the end of the world to take some photos of the toilet. So you can say, oh, we're going to this is where we go in. Oh, remember the toilets? And this is this. Look, there we are. And they've got, oh, remember that hand dryer? What did it do? Blows, and you blow with them. So just get them to realise this is every day. You know, we're talking about it because it's one of those things that, you know, we do.
No, brilliant. Thank you, Susan. What is the best potty? Because I've seen nowadays there's ones with that sit on the floor, but they've got a little flusher,
sing songs, all sorts of wonderful things. I think if it suits your budget, it's convenient. If you're going to take it with you, you don't want a big, like, you know, throne of a toilet to stick in a carry-on. I think if it suits your budget and it suits your purpose, it's a good enough potty. You can always customise a potty. You can buy a packet of stickers for £1 and you can make it your own. You know, you can get them to felt pen it, and then they'll all wash off when you clean it, and then they can felt pen it again. So you don't have to go out and spend fortunes, and I wouldn't buy several. It's unlikely to be the potty they don't want to sit on. It's just they're not ready.
And you can put like the teddies on the potty first as well, can't you?
Yeah.
And encourage them that way.
Yeah, if you've got an older sibling, they can sit on it. You know, we want the first wee, but then when they do the first wee, everyone go in the house goes, yeah, and the poor child is traumatized, thinking, oh my word, what have I got to do next to get a chair? It's terrifying.
Yeah.
So again, don't make it outrageously excitable. Just say, oh, well done, let's go tip it down the toilet. Oh, well done.
And then wash your hands. It's
yeah. Let's get my especially bubbly soap. You know, buy really nice soap. Or if you're into a character with it on, or just blow bubbles with a bar of soap. It's very old-fashioned, but it's good fun. But you don't, I don't think you need to go mad.
No, and if they like the toilet, you'd buy one of those inserts. They're quite cheap, aren't you? And you probably need some form of footstool, otherwise their legs would be.
Yeah, so none of us like to sit on a toilet. If you ever sat on a disabled toilet and your legs wobble, I'm only 5'1", then you know it feels really unsafe. Yeah. Children don't want to feel unsafe on the toilet. So you can get little steps up, you can get some with sides, because they need to be able to get on and off the toilet on their own. You want them to be self-sufficient, you want to be able to look after themselves. That's your end goal. And it has to feel safe. And it's really hard to do a poo if your legs are dangling. Your feet, you need your feet on something, you need to push. Often we don't realise how we poo, but often we push down with our feet to help us go. So if your feet are dangling, you're not going to be able to go. So it needs to be really comfy. Yeah. If you've got a very handy husband, grandfather, grandma who can make these things, one of my colleagues makes things with wood all the time, she's amazing. Then that would be fine. Or I'm sure, you know, there's every product out there. If it's got children's with it, there's a profit, someone's making it.
And boys start sitting down, don't they? They don't need to worry about standing up. That will just come naturally.
Yeah, and actually it does slow down the pooing often if they stand to wee.
Right, okay.
And I know they want to copy Dad.
Yeah.
But it is better to sit.
Okay.
And you empty your bladder better if you're sitting.
And there's a good tip for the toilet, what you can put in the toilet, isn't there, to encourage them?
Yeah, so when they're older and they're standing, if you put a ping pong ball, you can draw a face on it and they aim at the ping pong ball. Especially as they get older, they turn around and talk to you and all sorts of lovely things. So yeah, you don't really, you know, you want to keep them focused. I think prostate cancer charity first did it to encourage people to check themselves, and that's just a great tip.
Yeah, yeah, because I believe that men should sit down a couple of times a day as well.
Yeah, and mostly children spend their times with their mums. Yeah. So mums sit down. So it is a good start. But yeah, it's just, you know, it'll all change. But it's just getting it right to start with and trying not to overstress. If you have very expensive rugs, I'll roll them up. Most of us have got a wooden floor or washable floor. If you've got carpet, just be ready with some cheap tea towels or some old towels. Someone will give you old towels. Go to a charity shop, buy some old towels. Just something to mop up the puddles. Because, you know, they're not doing it on purpose, they're not doing it to torment you. But it's going to take a while for the penny to drop. So you have to give it a bit of time.
Okay, perfect. That's brilliant. So I think we covered incentives and praise, really, unless you've got any more up your sleeve.
If it's going on, and if you're struggling, if you know, the hand washing's lost its appeal, then just sometimes a little, you know, you can have a little bag of very simple things, and it could be pictures in the bag, a picture of, you know, we're going to the park, a picture of we're going to write a letter and take the post box, but little things that they can just pick out because they've sat on the toilet.
That's good.
Because first of all, you've got to get them to sit for more than 2 or 3 minutes, because they can't do a wee within seconds. So first of all, that's what you're going to get them to do. Then you want them to, they may be in a nappy. Then you want them to sit, maybe with just their top, you know, their joggers off, if they're a little boy, or their leggings off their little girl. Then you want to sit with that nappy. So you're building up.
Right.
So it might be little incentives along the way. It could be going to blow bubbles. Yeah, it could be we can do dancing. What little child doesn't want to dance around with their parents? So little things like that. Don't give them expensive treats. This isn't, if you do this all day, I'm going to do this. These are little people who need instant reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't advocate giving them sweets. I work for health.
Yeah.
But high fives are good. You know, what they want mostly at this age is your time and attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it could be, you know, making puppets out of socks, and we're going to have a puppet show. Nothing has to be really crazy.
Simple praise, but immediate praise
Yeah.
when they do.
Yeah, and then you could move on to, you know, if they like stickers, that could be your next port of call, or you could try stickers first and then the goodie bag next. But always building up what you're giving, and the stickers then could change to, well, now we're going to have a character sticker, now we're going to have a shiny sticker. You can't expect them to do something all day at this age. You're just going to, and your stickers will be all over your house because they don't stay on your clothes for too long.
No.
But they've got it, you've taken a photo of it, you've sent it to nanny, to dad, to auntie, whoever. It just makes them feel good about themselves. And then you look at these photos and you think, you were so good, look, you've got that sticker there, and then later you've got that sticker. And all the time you're saying you're very good, you go to the toilet, you're managing. It makes them think, oh, this is who I am. I'm the one who does all this.
Yeah.
And their pride will grow. And that's what you want, to give them the confidence and the pride.
Brilliant. And I was just going to ask you,
Yeah.
this was more about daytime. What about nighttime?
So at night, you really don't, it's quite a risk to think out of nappies both day and night at the same time.
Yeah.
You really want them to have 2 or 3 nights where when they wake in the morning and their nappies dry.
So you would ditch the nappies during the day
Yeah.
and just use pants, but at night you could put the nappy on. Yeah.
Because if you're a heavy sleeper and that signal from your bladder doesn't wake you up, you're going to wet the bed. Now, children will often wet the bed up to the age of 7, and that is not thought to be abnormal. It does run in families. Some children just later, as I say, some children heavy sleepers. So it's not something that's set in stone.
No. The night's a bit more difficult, isn't it?
It is. And we years ago, back in the old days, we used to lift them and take them to toilet. We don't do that anymore. We want them to wake naturally. And so you wouldn't reduce all their drinks down, because unless your bladder is full, it can't send the message to your brain that you need a wee. And that's the same in the day. 6 to 8 drinks in the day, nothing caffeinated, because caffeine is an irritant to the bowel. So you just, water is the best thing to give your child. But you want them maybe to not have like a big massive drink, just before they go to bed, but they'd have a drink with their evening meal or their tea, whatever you call it, tea, dinner, whatever in your house. Then a little drink when they go to bed, and that would be fine. Okay. And when you do decide it might be the right time, and this would be when there's no stress on the child, so not 2 days before they start school, not or nursery or preschool. This would be when there's no aggravation. They're not going to then stay at nanny's. Get a mattress cover. So you get like waterproof mattress covers. Okay. Stick that on the mattress. So if they do have an accident, the sheet's off. You wipe the mattress down with the mattress cover. And if you do it in the summertime, it's not too. You don't use a heavy quilt. No. But your quilt might need washing.
Yeah, and you need to make sure extra bedding really, because there is that turnaround of washing it.
You often you have a little damp child appear at the side of your bed, because when they do a wee, it's lovely warm. When they wake up, it's cold, and they'll come and find you. Yeah. And then it's they haven't done it on purpose. No. It's, oh dear, never mind. You go and sit on the toilet. Mummy will sort your bed out, change their clothes, put them back to bed.
Yeah.
None that worry loves you. Don't be tempted to scoop up a bit in the bed, because habits are very easily set with children.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's really helpful. So we're aiming for the days, and then the nights will come a bit later.
Yeah.
Basically. How many nappies did you say? 2 dry?
I would say 2 or 3.
2 or 3 nights of dry nappies.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're unwell and they've been potty trained, they've been napped a dry at night for maybe 2 or 3 months even. If they go down with something, they may bed wet.
Right. Okay.
Because their sleep pattern is different. So if all of a sudden they're wet in the bed, it might be worth just checking, have they been around anyone with chickenpox? Is there something going around at nursery, at preschool? So, don't think it's the end of the world.
Okay.
Just be ready with your spare set of change of sheets, change of pajamas.
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, Susan. That
No
was
worries.
amazing. Chloe, have we any questions?
Hi, Lisa. Yeah, we've had one question come in from Stacey. She's asked, if he doesn't know when he's weeing in his nappy, but he does tell me when he's pooing, is he ready?
So I think all you can do is give it a go. I would say just try him for a week and see what progress you make, because he may not know he's doing a week because he doesn't feel wet. You could, to start with, just either put him in a pair of pants under his nappy, or put some sheets of kitchen roll in his nappy, so when he wees he feels wet, and it reminds him that's what it is. That wet feeling is his wee, because the nappy takes away all the moisture, and so it may not be something that he's feeling.
So you can look for the little wee dance as well, can't you?
Yeah, often. Do you need the toilet then?
No problem.
But yes, and also if she could have a routine, even in a nappy or a pull-up, and just take him to the toilet and see if anything happens, and practice sitting on the potty like we said before. Can he sit? Because you want him to get into that. Well, there is this option.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Susan.
One thing I didn't mention: some children will be happy to wee in the potty, but not happy to poo in it. Really common that poo's a big thing to let go.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sometimes they'll see the first poo in the potty, be so alarmed, because to them it looks like half a leg, because they've not seen a poo before, and then they don't want to do it again, especially if they've had a round of applause. That's too terrifying.
Yeah.
So if they want the nappy on for a poo, carry on giving them the nappy for a poo, because you don't want them to get constipated and stop pooing, because then their poo gets dry, and when they do a poo it hurts.
Yeah.
So if your child's at that phase, then that's fine. You're just going to say, yes, you can have your nappy on, but you have to be in the bathroom with your nappy on, and do your poo next to the toilet. But I would take out your towels, your soap, because if they want to be on their own, they'll be having a great time.
Yeah.
All you buy in the bathroom, you take on the toilet while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let them do it in there. When they're happy to do it in the bathroom, then you will say, yes, you can keep your nappy on, but sit on the toilet and do it. So then that's the next stage. And then after that, you're going to undo the tabs at the side, and then they're going to sit there with the nappy open. And then you're going to work about getting that nappy pulled away.
And isn't there a really good YouTube video or something?
Oh, there's
like
a little app on your phone you can get called Poo Goes Home to Poo Land.
And watch that. That works, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It takes the fear away.
Yeah, and it's a social story about a poo and where it goes and who it lives with, and so it's it is again bringing poo into their normal life. There's lots of books at the library. Everybody Poos and potty training. There's one with a little character that potty trains, but there's lots of things like that. They start making poo as normal as we play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, try not to mix it in there.
No.
But on that, you could, if you can't get them to stay on the potty very long, you could have some washable toys or a washable book that they sit with while they're on the potty. I wouldn't advocate sitting in front of the TV while they do it, because you don't really want them pooing in the lounge.
No.
You want them to poo where it's appropriate to poo.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't advocate giving them phones or iPads. I just think there's plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
And it sometimes is more of a distraction.
Could we sit and read them a story maybe as well?
Absolutely.
Sing songs.
Yeah. And if they are constipated, they're struggling, blowing helps. So getting them to blow bubbles then you relax. If you remember in pregnant, when you're having a baby, they tell you to blow and puff, and it helps to relax you.
Okay.
So it's a little tip to try it yourself. You'll be struggling one day.
Yeah.
But it does help. So, and then bless them, not great at blowing bubbles. So there's a lot of puffing and a lot of blowing bubbles, but that's quite a good tip as well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Brilliant. We've had a couple more questions come in as well. Joe's asked, twins, would you do them together or do them individually?
Good question.
I think because every child's an individual, I think you'd have to assess if they were both ready at the same time. You may have one who's ready, and then the second one can watch, and then they'll copy. Because when you have, when your child is your second or third, they will watch their siblings and often be potty trained sooner. But you'd have to assess whether they were both at the same stage, because not always twins are, but sometimes they are. So I think assess the children differently. But there's no reason you could, you could have a shared potty, or they can have a potty each. And it might be if twin A is sitting on the potty and doing something, twin B wants to sit there just because they just want to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have opposite sex children, maybe the girl or the boy would want to do it and the other wouldn't. So I think just have to decide. Mum will know her children better than anyone. And she will get an idea of whether they're ready, but there's no harm in a child sitting on the potty fully clothed, watching the one sitting on the potty doing.
Absolutely.
And watching the potty being emptied and being up in the bathroom with them. I think that would be absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Susan. And Lisa's asked, my almost 2.5-year-old is delayed in speech, so unable to tell me. Would you suggest waiting to toilet train?
Not necessarily. You can use pictures. So you could laminate some pictures of the toilet, stick a bit of Velcro on the back and have someone to stick it in the house, or a bit of blue tack, and they bring you the picture. You could sign toilet. The back of the sign for toilet is this. Yeah. So you could teach them to sign. If you want to invent your own sign, then you could just, I don't know, it's the old-fashioned flushing the toilet. Yeah, show my age now. But something that means toilet to them, often they'll just grab themselves. And you'll know, but I think bring something in that says toilet, and every time you take them when you're setting the routine, you're going to show them the picture and go to the toilet, but always say the word with the picture. So you're not going to, you need to encourage them through words. So all the time, picture toilet, and if you have the routine, you say toilet time, you hold the picture up. Mums can wear them like almost sort of a lanyard if they want to, with pictures of things that help their child, and just hold that picture up. But you could have these, randomly stuck up, one in the lounge, one in the kitchen, one in the garden. You could have drink, snack, toilet, whatever you needed, really. Yeah. And again, if you have a child who has any sort of a learning delay, sometimes a visual is really helpful for them. And in the toilet, you could have a picture of your child pulling down their trousers, your child pulling down the pads, your child sitting on the toilet, your child getting off the toilet. So you could have pictures of the whole toilet routine. So your child goes through the routine of what they need to do to use the toilet and to wash their hands afterwards. Visuals are really helpful for every child, but especially children who need that little extra bit of help. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Susan. And Danielle's asked, my little one is 2 years, 3 months old and tells me he's done a poo but refuses to sit on the potty. He just screams to come off. Is he ready?
I don't think so. I think mum, introduce, when he hasn't done a poo, have the toilet there, maybe sit down and play a ball, roll the ball to each other. Maybe have something that, make it fun to actually sit on there, get him happy on there, know that it's not something that worries him. If you think about little children, for the last 2 years plus, they've been encased in nappy. That's all they know. If that suddenly comes off, that's quite scary, because then what do? This is a world I don't understand. So you want him first to be comfortable on the toilet, go through some of the tips we've done before. It's fun, just, high five has been on the toilet, or if he, I don't know, you could have, 5 favourite cars on the shelf. Oh, you can have the red car, you sat on the potty, well done. Next time you sat at the potty, you can have the blue car. but anything that just gets him on there, just for fun, so that we completely dress, not with the poo in his nappy at all. You just want him happy on there, and then you're going to move forward again with the tips from before. But yeah, I think, even if you're not necessarily going to potty train them, still change by the toilet, but having the potty somewhere to sit that makes it fun is a good start. One other tip, when you run the bath at night, it's a good plan to sit them on there then, because that sound of running water sometimes will encourage children to have a wee. So that's quite a good tip. As you sit on your potty or you sit on the toilet, it's great because they can see, and that sometimes will get the first wee going. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Susan. That's really helpful. And we've got lots of comments to say thank you, which is lovely. Everyone's really enjoying the live. If anyone's got any more comments, now's the time to share them with us. Don't worry if you're watching this recorded as well. Please leave your comments below still, and we'll pass them both on to Susan and Lisa and get back to you.
Talk about children with additional needs.
So now's probably a good time to say children with special educational needs or disabilities. The ERIC website has a really good website and support line. This is just a normal, even for normal potty training, this is ERIC guide, and you start at the bottom of the ladder and work your way up. There's a special educational needs leaflet as well. So the ERIC website is a really good one to bear in mind. And also there's Bladder and Bowel UK, and they're really good for special educational needs or disabilities. And it's good to look at both of those before you start, maybe, because it will help you know what to do first. Also, Chloe's going to put the link to register with the Family Centre in the chat. This will allow you to access our services. For example, if you're eligible for support with 2-year funding, or if you've got fussy eating, or you need to find a preschool place, first aid courses we run, or sleep and oral health. So it's worth registering with ourselves, and also obviously we do the potty training as well. So definitely check out the ERIC website and the Bladder and Bowel UK. They are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been doing this support for years and years. So yeah, I'll definitely find. I think they're your first port of call, really, just to get your head around it.
Yeah. And
even if it's been, you've tried it, you've given it a month and it's not worked, you've given it a month, and tried again, you've given it a month. Don't give up. We didn't all learn everything at the same time. We don't remember learning this. But there are very few people in this world who aren't potty trained. So, it'll happen, but just, keep your sanity, and you'll get through this. But there's no end time. Nurseries can't say your child can't come to my setting because they're not potty trained.
No. They tend to work with you. They should. When you start potty training, you tell them, and they then carry on. And sometimes nursery and preschools actually help, because they watch your children, don't they?
Yeah. And also, if you have a routine at home that your child, words that you've used, or times that they go. If you have a routine, if you write that routine down and you say to nursery, this is what we've been doing over the weekend, they will try and follow that with you. Or say to them, what's your routine? Can we follow your routine? So work together.
Yeah.
Lots of, nursery schools would ideally want all children potty trained, but for some children, that's not happened. And that's just developmental from that neural pathway. So it's fine that that's not happened. They just, it will just be giving it time until your child's ready. So don't be put off, don't rush it if it's really not there. But it's a life skill, and you don't want to leave it forever. It will save you a fortune when they're at nappies. If you need something more individual, you can always phone the health visiting service, and they will give you some ideas.
Definitely, and the same goes to the Family Centre as well. You can give us a call, and we can help you as well.
But most of us are trained with the ERIC.
Yeah.
So this is the training we get. So most of what's on here is the support we'll give you. But sometimes it's nice to talk it through.
Yeah.
But the Family Centre are an excellent resource, so give them a shout.
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. We do have just one last question come in, actually. Joe's just asked, is it an advantage to go straight to sitting on the toilet rather than starting with the potty, or doesn't it matter?
It does cut out one stage. So if you get your child used to toilets everywhere, they can get on and off the toilet. You'll have to help them in other places, and they're not bothered by, they can manage it quite well. Sometimes little tiny scraps of children find it a bit wobbly, because the insets are mostly one size. But if your child's comfortable on the toilet, I would say go straight to the toilet. And that's absolutely fine. It is a personal choice. For some people, that's less convenient for lots of reasons. Yeah, if that works for you, yeah, I think definitely go for it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you both so much for your advice today. It's been brilliant. Everyone's found it really useful. I'll put all those links you mentioned in the chat as well. So the Eric and the Bow UK one, that'll be all in the chat for everyone to access. Yeah, so thank you both so much. And thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks everyone.
All right, enjoy your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.